Hey there, Teresa here. Good morning. Back with day 23 of this 25-day Going for Breakthrough Supporting You challenge. I know that yesterday in my video when I was in my car, I had said that today I was going to be stretching myself, getting out of my comfort zone and going for another breakthrough here. But as I was thinking about it in the flow of what's been happening these past few days, I am going to put that one off till tomorrow. And what I want to share with you today, and the question that I really have for you today, is one that just sums up so much of the things I've shared in these videos over the past 23 days, and especially builds on everything that's happened since Friday's video. Good morning, Carol. So glad you could join me. So on Friday's video, if you remember, that was me sharing my real-time breakthrough about how I wanted to control the life force and make sure I had everything all figured out before I would say yes. And then in Monday's live stream, I had some grapes and I had an apple here, and we talked about how you can't grow an apple tree from a grape seed, and you can't grow an abundance tree from a scarcity seed. And then yesterday I got to share two stories, one my own and one of Angela's and Shayna's, about how truly when we are coming from a place of abundance, when we're saying yes to the life force or the abundance and what we're being called to, how the universe just shows up with amazing things that can support us. And so that leads to what I want to share today, which I think is almost like one of the best finales for these 25 days. Carol, I know you've seen it before, but you know what I've said about repetition. And the question I have for you is, when you think about your computer, if you're calling up a tech person because you're having computer problems, one of the first questions they're going to ask you is, what operating system do you have? Are you using Windows 7, Windows 8? Are you a Mac? They want to know that. And the question I have for you this morning is, what's the operating system that you're running your life on? And I just want to say up front, in sharing this with you again today, I am also, remembering it, and repetition for me too. Hey, Barb. Hey, Bob. So glad you could join me here. So what's the operating system you're running your life on? Because if you're like many, many, many people, and like me, still more often than I would like to admit, the operating system I run my life on, my approach to life, the way I go about my life at a subconscious level, is one that I've absorbed from the culture around me. It's like we get it by osmosis growing up. And I'm going to bet you can recognize it when I describe it in this way. It sounds like this. We think we have to do something to have something to be something. So in the work I do, we might think that we have to do something like build a business or make a bunch of phone calls or have like that, to have the money that we want, so that then we can be abundant. We may think that we need to do something like make a lot of money so that we can have this really nice house or lifestyle, and then we can be abundant. Let me see from you like a thumbs up or a yes if you can relate to this. You can maybe recognize this way of thinking or operating system. Yeah, looks like we got a couple there. Yeah. So here's the problem with this. If we think we have to do something in order to have something to be abundant, then when do we get to be abundant? Out there, sometime in the future, when we've done those things and we have those things. So abundance becomes this destination we have to get to. And if it's out there after we've done these things and we have these things, then that implies that where we're starting from isn't abundance, or what I call scarcity. And now we're back to Monday's video. We're trying to grow abundance from a scarcity seed, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. It's going to create all sorts of struggle and frustration, because no matter what we do or no matter what we have, it seems like we never get to be abundant or free or whatever the way we want. So this operating system doesn't work. It's broken. It's broken. So over these past 20 years, as I've been teaching abundance principles, etc., I've discovered that the operating system that we need to develop and live that supports us to continue to access and grow and experience more and more abundance sounds just like this. We have to start with being abundant. That's the starting point, the seed. And when we are in that space, when we are being abundant, aligned with the source of abundance, then we will have all sorts of things that will support us, that are congruent with that. We will have possibilities. We will have ideas. Like Angela the other day, we will have people show up to give us a free ticket to Breakthrough Abundance Live. We will also have desires within us that we want to express. Like the apple seed has this desire to become an apple tree. And in response to those things, we will take actions that support us to continue to be abundant, that support us to continue to experience abundance. This is the law of attraction. We start out being abundant, and we have these things that support that, are congruent. We take actions in response, and the cycle continues. Now, how do we be abundant, especially if we have debt, or if we're not making a lot of money, or if we're struggling? Well, we have to recognize first that abundance is not a destination. It's not something out there separate from us for us to get. We have to first experience and get that we are awash in abundance, and abundance is within us. And oftentimes what blocks us from experiencing that are beliefs and patterns that we have, operating systems like this, that we need to break through and release so that we can connect with and experience the abundance that we are and that is within us and around us. And then we start to live our life from that place, which can only grow more abundance. What operating system are you running your life on? And if you recognize that you're doing this way more than you realize, and it ain't working, it's creating struggle, you're not getting that experience of abundance than you want, and this sounds like more what you're looking for, then I truly invite you to reserve your spot. We still have seats remaining for Breakthrough Abundance Live, because I can promise you, you will experience this operating system during that workshop, and you will leave with a muscle memory of it that you can bring back to your life to continue to reinforce and build upon. That's what Breakthrough Abundance Live is really about. Thanks all for being here this morning. Bob, it was great to have you here first time. Barb, good to see you. Carol again. Any questions or comments, I'd love to hear. And I'll be back tomorrow, not in my normal place again, with that me stretching myself breakthrough that I had promised. I'll talk to you then. Have a great day, everyone.